Right, welcome to Hartleyvale in Cape Town, South Africa, where we're lining up for this men's over 40 Pool C clash between Singapore and Germany. Toss has just been done, teams leading out. We'll have a lineup and we will get underway shortly. Just how the pool stands at the moment. Germany winning their first game against the Alliance 5-0 yesterday. Singapore yet to get a result in, this being their first game of the tournament. Lovely renditions there of the national anthems of Singapore and Germany as the teams shake hands. The starting lineup for Singapore, we have Fu in goals, Lim, Barniston, Singh, Gianothan, Singh, Ching Lang, Chirichul, Hu, and Olas. Starting for Singapore, coach Kanan Paksami. For the German side, we have in goals, Belchloff, then Wolf, Hillman, Pingel, Henschk, Lerch, Barsch, Renfer, Ruloff, and Zager starting in the white. Singapore playing in the red kit from left to right on your screens. Germany in the white kit from right to left. Teams will now just have their final tats. Final little moments of motivation before they head out onto the turf. Quite a bit of wind here at Hartleyvale this morning, blowing from right to left on your screens. It will have quite a big influence on how the teams use the aerial pass. We've seen it being a really well-used tool yesterday from many of the teams. Attacking options, outletting options. It'll be a really important side of how this game's going to go today. Plenty of support here in the stands for both sides, but we see you at home as well, so welcome. If you are joining on the stream, please let us know who you're supporting in the comments. give us a shout out. Plenty of passion shown there from Germany as they get ready. Umpire's just calling them along. And it looks like it will be the number 4 for Singapore of Soren Toft to get us underway here. Calm start for Singapore as they send it around the back. Germany just creeping up high in the field. Early mistake there from the Singapore men. Germany really had a clinical game yesterday. 5-0 win. We're very happy in their structures, very set in their ways. Didn't let the opposition get a single short corner. As we see now, a beautiful ball up the left-hand side. Looking for something into the midfield. Finds a ball down to the bottom left-hand corner of the D, but will run over the baseline for a 16. Singapore take it early. Playing a back 4 system. Just looking for some width there, but once again a wayward pass. Falls kindly for Germany. As they now play in transition down the right-hand side, looking for that ball into the circle. Off the post. Falls kindly for Singapore though. Long handle up the line. Wolf. Sent it out to the right. Once again, just beautiful composure by Germany. You'll see this a lot today, being very composed, happy to be in possession of the ball, happy to ride the pressure and find that 100% pass. As we said, Aero's going to play a big part in today's game, and they're straight to Lurch. Number 2, Wolf, once again, all the way down to the left-hand side. A rare mistake from the number 9 in Vedavart. Germany now really stepping up in the press, putting Singapore under a lot of pressure. Playing into win. That overhead factor is going to be huge. It's not going to be an easy outlet here for Singapore. Got to find a way to work this out the back. There we go with the overhead. Falls kindly for them. Working up the right-hand side now, Singapore through the number 9 of Chik Lang into the D. Getting the first circle entry, and a short corner is awarded in the first 3 minutes of the game. A great bit of outletting work there from Singapore, and overhead over the top. The forward came to fetch it, and Chik Lang for Singapore wins his side, the first short corner of the game. As we said previously, Germany has not yet conceded a short corner in this tournament. So it'll be the first time they get to test their defensive structures. Singapore opting for the single castle here. Looks like the number 4 of Soren Toft at the top. Injection's good, stop is good, skills the first wave, looking for something closer to the goals, but just runs away from him. But this is now dangerous for Germany as they have numbers up on this left-hand side. Once again to the number 9 of Vedavart. Unfortunately, just couldn't get a hold of that one. Both teams showing early signs. As now Singapore moves it all the way out to the left-hand side. I think Singapore will be one of the teams who'd like to play on the counter-attack. Just wait for Germany to come to them and play in that transition phase. Germany, more of the build-up. Get the ball into the right zones, where they want to be, manipulate the opposition and get the outcomes. Now, left half running into a bit of trouble there. to the number 50. Great pass out to the left. Into the D they go. Shot comes in. Save from the keeper. It will run over the baseline for a long corner. It's great work from the number 50 there of Rulof for Germany. Getting that shot off. Great position taken up in the D. We've seen teams be very direct from here. As soon as they get the ball into that zone, they're firing it into the circle. And nothing's different there. But that one, an unforced error. It will be a short corner. The second of the game. The first one for Germany. Just a back stick there from one of the Singapore defenders. Not being able to get his feet around it and just paddling the ball out. We saw a couple of flickers warming up here for Germany early on. They have certainly got a short corner battery. Have the number 5 of Arschenfeld, along with the number 2 of Wolf lining up on the top D. Goes to flicks low, left and saved. Well managed there from the keeper of He Fu from Singapore. A great save, diving to his right hand side. Germany will be happy with that flick and great work there. But now Germany once again on the counter down this left hand side into the upright back stick. And just couldn't get a hold of it. Was the number 50 of Philip Roloff there. Singapore just struggling to get the ball up to their forwards at the moment. As now Germany through the middle, through the number 5 of Hillman. Big ball into the circle. Falls kindly for Singapore, but they don't clear the lines properly. Germany win the free at just outside. They'll look to take this quickly. They've got a man down to the right. They do. Into the T-point area they go. Looking for a foot. Doesn't find one. And that one just bobbles onto the German striker's foot, and it will be a 16. Singapore got to do a bit better there. Put more pressure on the strikers. They're giving them too much time in the D. And as I say that, Singapore now have their turn to just move the ball around a bit. Test that German press. Captain now, Renfe on the ball. Sends it back out. Germany very content moving the ball around. Just happy to manipulate the Singapore defense. Playing in what looks like a back 4 at the moment. And they'd want to extend those outside halves, get great go forward from them, playing the ball into the midfield, then moving the ball into the outside. As we see there, exactly what they want to do. Bypass that front line, and the ball comes in the circle. Shot falls kindly for the striker on the left post, but he couldn't get a hold of that. Was that striker from Germany, the number 53. Once again, great work from the Germans, just being able to manipulate the Singapore press, getting the ball into the space on the far side of the field. And a player unmarked in the D. Concerns for Singapore as they're struggling to get out here. Big ball up the line. Singapore now with a chance at high transfer. They've got to get something going forward. They find themselves into the 23. Through the number 4, Toft. Big player for them. Ball comes into the circle. Finds a player on P-spot. Shot comes in. Just wide and will be a 16. That's better from Singapore. A lot more threatening. They've shown how dangerous they can be in this final quarter. Just got to get the ball there. It's now Germany happy to walk it up. This is great play from them. You'll see this number 53 of Steenwasser. He'll be able to creep up the field as soon as they get go forward ball. But that is a rare mistake. And now Singapore on the attack down the middle through the number 7 of That one just being deemed a bit of obstruction. Well managed there from the German defenders. So as you'll see, they'll play the ball into the midfield. They look to commit this front three of Singapore, playing in sort of a football inverted shape. And then they look to find that space on the outside, and which they do here. Through the D they go. Shot comes in. Great save from the keeper. Once again, Fu makes no mistake of that one. Germany still though on the attack. Into the 23. Diving attempt there from the number 10. The captain of Churchill. Big ball into the circle. Takes a deflection. Will be a long corner. Looking for options of Germany. They send it around the back once again. Just looking to pull the Singapore defense out a little bit. Ball comes in. Again, we've seen teams be very direct from that point of view. As soon as they get into a high transfer or high possession, they were looking to get the ball into the circle as quickly as possible. And no difference there from Germany, but they've shown how good they can be on this build-up and on this transition phase. Like to see them just move the ball around a bit, exploit the outside channels, exploit the T-point area. Lovely aerial into the 23. Singapore player just not being 5 there. Taken quickly by Germany. Ball into the circle. No one's there to collect, and it will be a 16. Once again, really direct from the Germans. Hasn't been working for them as they haven't got players in that 9-yard area. And now Singapore. Up the left-hand side they go. Aerial. That one just will find touch. Germany now, once again, moving the ball around the back. Looking to commit the Singapore press, waiting for them to make their big move. And there we go, down the right-hand side, into the 23. Will be a long corner, it looks like, for the Germans. Or just a hit inside the 23. This is much better from them. Send it around the back. Find the space on the opposite side of the field. And there we go. Ball out to T-point. Shot comes in. Great save from the keeper. Once again cleared by Singapore. So they turn strong, but dispossessed. And Germany into the D, down the right-hand side. Ball comes in across the circle, and a short corner is awarded. Umpire says it took a deflection of the number 2 there, of Lim, making it dangerous, and it will be the second short corner of the game. We saw a brilliant straight flick from the top of the circle in the last short corner for Germany. They went low and left. Keeper had to make a diving save. Similar setup for them this time around. Looks like it will be the number 2 of Wolf, number 5 of Hillman once again set up on the first castle. Goes to Wolf. It's a little variation. And a hit's out awarded for danger. Well defended once again from the Singapore men. Germans went for a variation. First flicker just turns and puts it on a plate, but geez, nervy times for Singapore there. They seem to come away with it. Funny enough, in South Africa, that variation is called a German to all our teams. And Germany really showing exactly why there. As now, Singapore attacking up the right. Rides a few tackles. They've got some space out the left. We've seen how dangerous they can be here in this final third. That time pass just not going to his man in the circle. But a couple of stick contacts there, and Singapore do come away with it. They'll look to take this quickly, catch Germany in that transition. Moving at 5 now, Singapore. Can't find a connection. Puts it on the foot. There's 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Singapore would like to open the scoring here, or just get an outcome in the circle. Diving attempt into the circle, but just run over the near side baseline, and it will be a 16. Once again, very direct from the Singapore men. Didn't move the ball at all out of that left-hand channel. Once again, Singapore just happy to sit out a little bit deeper, give the Germans some space to walk into. Just makes the space that they're defending a little bit smaller. As you see now, this number 9 of Veervaart overlapping down the left-hand side. Once again, just a foot from him. Singapore, 1 minute left on the clock, moving to high possession. Also, a lovely little shift there to extend their left half up the line. Can they get the ball to him? They do. They've got numbers up situation here, do Singapore. One by the number 14. Looking for a foot. They find it just outside the circle. Nervy time for the Germans. We've seen how dangerous Singapore can be here. They've got to find this connection in the 23. Move the ball into the opposite side of the field. They do so. Picked up by the number 7, but dispossessed by the Germans. They're looking to take this quickly with 25 seconds left on the clock. They've got runners going forward. Can the number 9 of Veervaart get anything off? And a really poor mistake there from him. Not being able to find the centre back. 12 seconds left. It's anything can happen here. Singapore into the 23. Big handle into the circle. Looking for a striker, but no one's there. Looks like we've taken a bit of a knock on his finger. Has the number 53. Hope he's all right. But that will bring us to the end of the first quarter here in this men's over 40 clash between Singapore and Germany. It's been a very evenly contested game. Germany being the dominant side in possession, but Singapore definitely sharing more of the shots on goal. So don't go anywhere. We'll come back with more hockey action after the break. Welcome back to the second quarter here in this men's over 40 clash between Singapore and Germany, where we still remain goalless. Singapore looking really threatening when they get the ball into the 23. Germans just struggling to make that final connection. As now Singapore carry up the left-hand side, winning the free hits. Germany now looking to play quickly on that transition, losing out there, but unfortunate mistake, but he did well there, did the number 7 of Giannotten from Singapore, to just get that ball over the sideline, allow his team to get back behind the free hit, as the Germans now send it around the back. Great pickup from the number 22 of David Lurch. Massive slap, looking for that high-lying striker in the right T-point. They find him. Beautiful work off the baseline. And a hit out is awarded. That one just deemed to have come up off the German stick into his arm. Played quickly, but Germany do come away with it. Unfortunately, just finds a foot there. Germany are now also sitting a little bit deeper in their pressing lines and just waiting for exactly that. Singapore to make a passing error into their press, and they win the turnover. Once again, familiar 4-2 setup here for Germany. Really great use of their midfield. As you see there, lovely turn, find some space on the outside. As now they've got this overlap on the left, if they can find him. They do. Great little dink over the top from the number 55 of the Germans. Ball comes into the circle, but well managed by the Singapore defense. Falls kindly for them, shot and saved. Nervy times for Singapore there. Germans flood that area. We've seen how deadly they can be in that 9-yard area. But Singapore come away with one there. Singapore just got to be a little bit more clinical in that defensive zone. Struggling to pick up players. The Germans are moving into those zones unmarked. And one of those chances is going to convert into a goal, so Singapore have to be a little bit more careful of that. Germany once again with this overlapping outside half. Massive ball into the circle, no one's there to collect it. Singapore now on the outlet. Big hit comes up the line, takes a deflection. Singapore really sitting deep with the central defender here, allowing him to distribute quite far and just sit back for a little bit of counter security. Now they've got some space down the right hand side. Can he trap it? He can. Through the number 3 now of Barnardston. Looking for his counterpart in Ollers, but unfortunately that one just rolling over the baseline. Germany once again on the build-up. Happy to move it around. Commit the press, and as we see, they just step it up slowly but surely, creep their players higher and higher up the field. The one problem with what they're doing at the moment is that when your 2 outside halves go, you are exposed in terms of a counter-attack threat. As your outside halves or defenders become quite attacking players. As you see now, Germans just winning a free hit on the 5-meter line there. Direct ball comes in. Well picked up by Singapore as they send it right back. Toft gets a touch, but it will be a German restart on the sideline. Germany now send it round. Well picked up. A little bit of ping pong there, but it goes forced kindly for them. Shot comes in and just past the upright. Germany really having the share of shots at the moment. Singapore struggling to pick up those runners high in the circle. Singapore now move the ball out to the right hand side. Lovely receive. He's got two players inside. Fires one, but unfortunately didn't go to stick. And it is Germany that come away with it down the left hand side. Once again, through the number 36. 38 rather, of Froning. Lifted. It will be a Singapore restart. This is where they want to play, Singapore. They want to play in the transition. Catch the Germans. Still coming back. As now they send it out. Like to see them go have a little bit more go forward there, Singapore. As soon as they win that ball, they've got to get runners going forward. They've got to get the ball to them, because that's where it seems that the holes open up for them in this German defense. But now, Singapore once again up this right-hand side. Dispossessed Germany on the counter-attack. They've got a player out to the right-hand side. Lovely lead, and that one just running away from him. May have got there a few years ago, but that one was just out of reach this time for the number 5 of Thorsten Hillman. It's been a great show from him already. He's been sort of a linchpin in this German press, dictating where Singapore are playing. As you see now, he just cuts the field in half, and he knows when to press that centre back. But here we go, once again, German press holds strong. Couple of turnovers. It will be a Singapore ball. They did well there, did Singapore, to win that one back, but they're just being a bit careless with their balls into the midfield. The Germans are waiting for it. Aerial ball comes in. Falls kindly for the Germans in the circle. Just dinked over the baseline. It will be a long corner restart. Singapore now looking for a ball down to the right hand T-point. Doesn't find one. Big backstick coming in. There's a strike up there. Just couldn't get a hold of that one. Once again, the captain for Singapore sends it round the back. Poor error there, taken quickly, and it should be a short corner, which it is, it seems. Player not being 5 yards off that restart with inside the 23. Umpires say intentional offense, and it will be a short corner. Second of the game for Singapore. It's exactly what they needed. They've just weathered a few shots from the Germans. This will be a huge dampener to the Germans if they concede here. Interesting protective gear there for the first wave runner. As we see Singapore once again set up, single castle, runners to the right, option to the left. Stop is good. Flick comes in, takes a deflection off the first wave runner. It will be a long corner. Great running there from the Germans. Really got out there quickly. And now we see Singapore move the ball out to the right. Taking a player on 1v1. Loses out. Germany now with the opportunity to counter. Got a man up top. They can't find him. Lovely turn from the number 13 of Germany in Schneller. Just being able to identify that he's got no options going forward. Slow the play down. Let his players creep in front of him. Great experience shown there. As now, once again, this outside half for Germany. They've seen how dangerous they can be on the ball. It's just great to watch. Team being so composed, so in sync with each other, knowing exactly where they want to go, exactly what they want to do. Just struggling to find the back of the net now are Germany. Out to the right they go. This is where they've been so dangerous. Ball comes into the circle. Falls kindly. Shot comes in. Saved. Second shot. And that one will be a short corner. Once again, great work from the Singapore keeper in He Fu. He's really kept his side in the game at the moment. Lots of double saves. And Germany doing well to keep numbers in that 9-yard area, waiting for the rebound. And they're struggling to find the back of the net there. Well, it'll be the third short corner for Germany. We've seen 2 flicks from them, one coming off a variation, the German as we call it in South Africa, and the other one just being a straight flick from the top. They've gone for a similar setup, a double castle. This being a brand new turf here at Hartlepool, it's very slick, and the flick comes in. They go towards the postman, and a great save from the number 2 of Kelvin Lim. Great save off the line, but it seems as if they've awarded another short corner for intentionally playing the ball over the baseline. Nevertheless, that is certainly a goal-saving effort from Kelvin Lim. A lovely pull across his body that many cricket nations will be impressed with that. Germany once again, similar setup. It is the number 50 of Philip Roloff, set up at top D. Next to him is the number 38 of Tobias Froning. Injection comes in, stops good, flicks, low and right. The deflection of the number 13. It is Joch Sneller for Germany who finds the opener. A lovely little penalty corner variation. The flicks have been coming in. And they're flicking low, flicking to the right. And a lovely little sliding variation for the Germans. We see a replay coming up. A great injection, really quick to get to the top. And you see the number 13 of Sneller running into the right-hand side. And a lovely deflection that opens the scoring here. Germany now lead 1-0. It's been coming for the Germans, hasn't it? It's been an onslaught, de-entry after de-entry. Singapore really got to find some answers here. Once again, loose ball into the midfield for the Singaporeans. Germans come away with it down the middle. They've got to get numbers out to the right. They do. Now, into the circle they go, and that one just on a foot. Singapore once again weather that German counter-attack. They look to take it quickly, which is what they need to do, but that one just turned into contact. Should be a free hit here for the Germans, which it is. Must say it's been a good physical game match up here in the midfield. Both teams not giving an inch, but showing a lot of respect for their opposition. As now Germany once again, unforced error on the outside half. Singapore got a man up front, great little ball into him. He's got a man in the circle if you can find him, and there just a miscommunication between the two strikers. Once again, that's where Singapore want to play. They want to play on that transition. They want to play on the counter-attack. Catch the Germans unawares. And that time was no different, but just couldn't make that final connection in the circle. Just 2 minutes 30 left. Germany being 1 goal up there now. Very happy to just move the ball around. Give their legs a bit of a rest. And they've got, once again, this player all the way out, just out of picture here. And a great ball up to the right-hand side, picked up by the number 27. And shot comes in low and left.
A great finish from the left-hand shoulder of the D. Looks to be the number 50 of Philip Roloff. It is too. A great receive from him on the shoulder, turns onto his back stick and tucks it neatly past He Fu, as we see a replay coming up now. A lovely ball onto that shoulder, one hand receive, shot comes in, diving out to his left hand side. And that takes the lead to 2 for Germany. Sometimes all you need is one to just get you going. Fu for Singapore has been so good in goals, but there's nothing much he could have done with that one. A great shot, being able to get that ball off. And it's an area of the field where many international teams of late have been exposing. A lovely lead from Roloff there, being able to take his defender away, receive it with one hand, and a great finish. Game is livening up here, folks. Singapore certainly getting a mountain to climb in front, and if they keep playing loose balls into the midfield like that, it's not going to go too well for them. Looking for that ball up the right hand side, intercepted by Germany, but it does roll over the sideline. Singapore, just 30 seconds left. Looked to paddle it out to the left, but a really terrible mistake there. Had the time to be able to stop and pass that ball. Germany now on the attack, looking to take it quickly. Umpires say ball must be stationary. Still numbers up here. Ball into the circle, takes a deflection just past the upright. And that'll bring us to the end of this first half here between Singapore and Germany, where Germany currently lead 2-0, courtesy of a lovely short corner variation finished off by Schneller, followed up by a brilliant backstick goal from Philip Roloff. It's been Germany all the way here. Singapore showing how dangerous they can be on the counter-attack, but struggling to get the ball into that zone of the field. Don't go anywhere, we've got some more cracking hockey coming up after the break. Welcome back to the third quarter here in this men's over 40 clash between Singapore and Germany. Germany are currently leading 2-0. Germany now playing obviously from left to right on your screen. They're playing into wind. Let's see if that's going to change anything. Singapore playing with the wind. Will that change the tactics? Will it change how they play? As I said, plenty of support here in the stands for both sides, but as well as home. If you are watching on the stream, we see your comments. Let us know who you're supporting, where you're watching from. As we see number 5 of Hillman for Germany getting us underway. Halftime chats. Germany just looking to set up more players around that second phase off the keeper's save. They've had a lot of chances where keeper makes that initial save and then there's no one on the rebound. And then also coaches Torsten Bartel for Germany just asking the players to access the midfield a bit more, pull in that press of the Singaporeans and then move the ball out to the outside flanks where they've seen so much success recently. That ball just hopping over the fence. It will be a sideline hit for Singapore. Germany just sitting a bit deeper here now this quarter. Asking Singapore to come to them, make that play, but as we see now, Singapore take the free quickly. Player not 5. And it will be a green card. The first one of the game. But now, Singapore in the circle. Ball comes across, takes a deflection. It will be a long corner. It looks to be the number 18 there of Germany. Tobias Henschkeik with a green card. He'll have 2 minutes in the sin bin. That ball just directly into the circle from Singapore. Coach killer, that one. There's a massive let off for Germany as they'll be happy to take their time here. Wind down the clock on that card that they've got. Singapore once again sitting quite deep in their pressing lines. Coach just making sure that Singapore line doesn't creep too high. And once again, Germany obviously being a man down here, they're very content to just move the ball around, wind down that time on the card. If Singapore is not going to step towards them, they're not going to overcommit. And there we go, big mistake. Well recovered though from the number 15 of Pingel. Now Germany looking for something up the left-hand side. Don't find it, but they've been so well in being able to manipulate the press. And just by moving those outside halves and the centre-backs sort of rotate around. And there we go, as coach's orders, access the midfield, pull in those players. Ariel comes in. High-lying striker, great receive from him. Down the right-hand side he goes. He's got to hold this up a little bit, wait for his players to come. But a great tackle from the Singapore centre-back there. The number 10, the captain of Churchill. And now Singapore. Germany have now back to numbers. A well use of that time, just holding the ball, not committing. And Singapore couldn't get anything out of that. Germany now also just sitting a bit deeper, protecting the legs. They've got a 2-0 lead. They're happy to just protect that for the moment. Massive ball out to the left-hand side. Well managed from the left half there. In Singh did well to keep that one on his stick. As now Singapore look to outlet up the left. It's a bit of a foot race. Germany come away with it. Germany under pressure in this bottom corner. Can they get a pass away? They do. Aerial comes in. Both players coming towards it, so it always goes to the defender. Umpire's going to stop time there. Just have a chat with the players. Make sure everyone's happy, and it will be a Singapore restart. Attempted aerial, but falls kindly for Singapore as they enter the 23, dispossessed by the Germans. And they'll come away with the free hit on the sideline. Really great work there from the Germans. Really proud of their deep defensive efforts. Throwing themselves around, not allowing those Singapore strikers any time and space. As now we've seen how strong they can be in this outlet. And that, another ball out to their left half, who's crept all the way up the field. Now they find themselves in the D, and a stroke is awarded. Player has been taken out by the Singapore keeper. A massive collision as the medics are called onto the field. Hope he's all right. It was great work once again from the Germans. All the way from the outlet, finding that space and that overlapping left half out on the left-hand side of the field. He saw his centre link, played it in field, ball through to the forwards, and then a well-worked de-entry to earn himself a penalty stroke. First one of the game for Germany. Number 55 of Michael Nachel has been a great player for Germany thus far in the game. Let's hope he's all right, as he'll take a few minutes on the bench. So just a bit of head contact there. But now we have the number 52 for Germany. Christian Zager steps up. Goes left, keeper gets to it, but it will be a goal. The number 52 of Christian Zager finds the third for Germany through a penalty stroke. That mountain now seeming ever larger for Singapore. Replay of that one. Went high and left. Keeper got to stick to it. It's always a dangerous place to go. Probably one of the only spaces where the keeper can reach the side of the goals. But goal's a goal. As Singapore now chase. Just can't find that outlet, can Singapore. It's always a mistake in the midfield or a mistake on the outside. As Germany now on the attack. Down the right hand side. Lovely ball. Out to the right. Shoulder of the circle. Shot comes in. And just wide of the upright there. It will be a 16 restart. Germany now really finding their groove. This being their second game of the tournament. They've got a game over Singapore. And I think it's really showing over here. Umpire's just making sure the ball's put in the correct spot. And Singapore now moving the ball around the back. Got to try and have a little bit more ball pace here. It seems that heads have dropped, energy has dropped, and just a careless mistake there really. Giving Germany opportunity once again to be in possession. Germans have shown how good they can be in this build-up phase. They're playing now with just one deeper link, two higher. They'll probably look to slap through the lines. You'll see now their centre backs will look a little bit longer. And their forwards keeping really high, doing a lot of work, leading work up front. Keeping the Singapore defenders occupied. And You'll see the Germans really happy to just move the ball. And there's the long slap that we were talking about to that high-lying striker. He finds the number 21 of Barsh on the right-hand side. Down to T-point they go. Lovely ball into the circle. Backstick shot comes in. There's a man on far post. Falls kindly for Germany though as another shot comes in and just couldn't get a hold of that. Was the number 18 of Tobias Henschk. Once again, great work from Germany. Just moving the ball around the back, waiting for those gaps to open. And we've said how they're looking for those bigger slaps through the lines, trying to get past that front five of the Singapore men. But now Germany once again on the counter-attack up the right-hand side. Very content to send it out. And they found a pass all the way into the 23. Can he find that connection? He does. Into the circle they go. Well picked up by the Singapore defender. Clears his lines. Singapore really under pressure at the moment. The German, I think the fitness is just at an elite level. Singapore just struggling to keep up. Can't track their runners in the D. Can't track their runners in the midfield. As we see there. Down the left-hand side they go. Pulls loose. Shot comes in and just past the upright. A lovely little dink from the number 38 of Tobias Froning there. Saw a ball loose in the circle, diving. Got to stick to it and nearly beat the keeper. As now Singapore once again. A massive aerial with the wind. Unfortunately, the defender was in that space, so it's Germany ball. There's an RE ball down the left-hand side. Once again, Singapore really sitting deep. They're struggling to contain this German midfield. As now you see that typical German style, the overlapping left half. Finds himself in some space, but well picked up by the Singapore defenders there. Tensions running high. Singapore look to play quickly down this right-hand channel, which they do, dispossessed. Down the left-hand side they go now. He's got no options. He's got to try and slow this down or win a free hit, but a short corner is awarded. Umpire deeming an intentional breakdown just inside the 23, a harsh tackle. That is quite a harsh blow. And it will be the fourth penalty corner of the game for Germany. We've seen a lovely variation from them where it was a flick off top D down to the right hand side, and Jorg Sneller was on the far post waiting for the ball, tipped it in. Seems that we've got the number 18 of Tobias Henschk now on that running line. Let's see, will we see the same variation or will it be a change up from the Germans? Injection comes in. Mistrap. Plays out to the left. Fires it into the circle. Falls kindly for the Germans. Gets onto his back stick. Shot comes in. Saved from the keeper. Germans fortunate to get away with that one because first shot in a short corner must be low backboard height, and that back stick was definitely not. Singapore, however, do come away with a free hit. Rightly so. As now they look to move the ball around. Big hit. Those hoppy ones, very difficult to trap for both sides. And Germany once again just showing why they are one of the leading nations in the world in terms of hockey. It's just the composure, the thought processes, the way they're able to move the ball, the way they communicate with each other. And the German striker just Bit unhappy with the call there. Umpire deems that it was a bit of a shove. He's saying a bit of a dive. But so be it. Singapore come away. Big slap up the left. If they're going to play that game, it's fine. You just have to get players up in those zones. I agree that they're struggling a bit with that outlet, so you've got to get players higher then. But Germany now on the attack. It's beautiful really from the Germans. It's just class. The way they move the ball. They know where their next pass is, and now we see them flooding into the circle, but great defensive work there from the number 17 for Singapore. Made his way all the way back from the halfway line to make that interception and win himself his side the free hit. Singapore now down the right. Big hit comes in. Have they got someone up there? They do. Germans though pick it up. And this is where they're so strong. In this counter phase, they just clear the lines for safety, but well picked up by the number 5 of Hillman. We've seen how dangerous he can be in this area. And another short corner is awarded. And a few things that one could have been awarded for. A couple of harsh tackles, play on the floor. Stick was loose, ball hit the stick. Nevertheless, it will be the 5th short corner of the game for Germany. Previous one was just a bit of a mistrap. Uncharacteristic. I mean, this turf is really flat at the moment. There's certainly no bumps around top D. Once again, we see a familiar setup here with the number 2 of Johannes Wolf on top D. It's gone to him twice. Shifted to the right. Flick comes in high and left. Umpire blows it hit out for danger. German's not too happy with that one, saying the player was outside of the 5-meter area. Fortunately, no referrals here. You and I have got the best view in the house, so I'll leave you to make that call for yourself. But Singapore now up the right hand side. Harsh stick challenge, but taken quickly by Singapore. Umpires say ball must be stationary. Out to the right they go. Once again, stick tackle, look to taken quickly by Singapore. Just can't get that final pass against Singapore. But Germany now. Down the middle they go. Big challenge coming in, and that will be a card. A green card for the Singapore men. They will now play 2 minutes with a man down. Not exactly what they needed, Singapore. Trying to come back, trying to find a way past this German defense. As now Germany, down the left they go. Win themselves the long corner. Out to the right. This is where they've got the man up. Can they find that player on T-point? Great tackle. And they come away with the free hit. That's great defensive work from Singapore. Being a man down in a 1v2 situation, just waiting for the striker to make that move and stepping on him, smothering his time. Great work from Singapore. As we see, ball pace starts to drop a little bit here. The leads aren't quite as long as they were in the first quarter as fatigue begins to set in. But that's much better from Singapore as they now find some success down this right hand side, and umpire just deems that one to pop up and hit the back stick. Will be German ball with just seconds remaining on the clock. Germany will be happy to hold this ball and close out what has been a cracking third quarter. Germany now lead 3-0 over Singapore. Germany certainly finding their groove at the moment. So in the first quarter, they struggled to find the back of the net, but now the floodgates have opened. Don't go anywhere. We've got some more great hockey action coming up after the break.
Anyone going to tell these German kids not to put their feet on the dugout? Anyone going to tell these German kids to not put their feet in the dugout?
Welcome back to the fourth and final quarter here in this men's over 40 clash between Germany and Singapore. Germany currently leading 3-0 in what has been a really class performance from them. So comfortable on the ball, so happy in their plans, so happy in their structures. Singapore very deadly on the counter-attack, but just couldn't find an answer here today. As now Germany once again into the 23 win themselves a free hit. Taken quickly from Germany. Into the circle they go. Brilliant little ball. Unfortunately couldn't get a stick on that one, and will be a 16. Singapore just struggling to mark those guys, those runners, as soon as the Germans progress through the circle. And now we see a long ball. Problem with the long ball for Singapore is that you see how many players they've got behind the ball. As soon as they play one of those big passes up the field, they've got no one to pass to off that man. But now we see them build it up a little bit better. Get numbers going forward. Aerial comes in. Well intercepted, but that one just running over the sideline. Did well, did the number 2 of Johannes Wolf there. Singapore creeping their way high up the field. Looking for a ball up the line. Can't find it. Germans come away with it. Massive aerial, just couldn't get on the end. Was the German striker. If he had trapped that, it would have been an interesting little situation. A 2v2. As we said, the wind plays a massive role here at Hartley Bell. Quite a strong wind blowing from right to left on your screens. Got to adjust. Some of the balls flow a little bit further downwind and obviously into wind. Got to give it a bit more. But now the Germans once again on the outlet. They've gone back to their first quarter shape of that four at the back, 2 fetchers, And they've got one higher link. And as we see, there he is on the ball. The number 5 of Hillman. He's shown how dangerous he can be. A one-handed little pass down to the left-hand side of the D. Shot comes in, save. And a hit out is awarded. Great save from the number 18 there of Singapore. Darren Fu. Seems that we got brothers. Not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but both keepers with the surname Fu, Darren and he. As now Singapore look to build it up. They've got to get players high up the field here to Singapore. Use the wind that's behind them. As I say, that big ball comes in. Beats a few lines, but well picked up by Germany once again. Clever bit of outletting work from him, realizing he's under pressure. Just puts it on the Singapore foot. And now Germany on the attack down the right-hand side. Another change of shape from Germany as they have these outside links really wide. They're looking to exploit Singapore on the outsides. Germany once again turn the ball over in the midfield, win themselves the free hit. It eventually comes from the umpires. As they now look to send it all the way out to the far side of the field. A little bit of a contest, but well managed. So you'll see now Germany will play with what looks like a back 3 situation, but now the 78 here is an outside link. He'll play high up in the field, and it's exactly what they're trying to do here, the Germans. They're trying to commit less numbers into the midfield and play almost around the Singapore press and just be able to move the ball quicker than the Singaporeans can run. As now they look to move at 5 to the Germans. Sending it out. Around the back they go. Big ball into the circle. There's a player there and a touch. And a lovely goal. It looks to be the number 5 of Thorsten Hillman for Germany. It is 2. A lovely work from him, finding himself in the right area of the D. A beautiful ball in from the back. And Germany extend their lead to 4. We see a replay coming up now. A lovely little drift from the centre back. Finds that player leading in, and a lovely tap in from Hillman. He has been a great player for Germany today. A workhorse up front, really putting in a great shift. And he finally gets himself on the score sheet. As Singapore begin to look a bit dangerous, but then just a mistrap. Ball roll over the side, the baseline for a 16. Germany once again just happy to move the ball. There's one of those outside links we were talking about. And it gives them this option to move the ball into these pockets, and they've got the outside link now that he can play. It's currently the number 21 of Uwe Barsch. Another advantage of the system that the Germans are playing is that it's quite a defensive system as well in terms of counter defense. You've always got 3 players that are quite narrow, quite central at the back. They get to protect the ball, as we see now. Germans into the D, but come out. A rare mistrap there. Falls kindly for the Germans, as they're happy to send it back out, get into their shape, And there's that long slap to the outside link, but he seems to turn and run away from it. Bit of an argument going on there, not sure who that was meant for. But it will be a Singapore restart on the sideline. Singapore now moving the ball. Big hit up the line. Bit of a shove there from the Singapore strike, and it will be a German free hit. It's been the moral of the story today, hasn't it, for Singapore? Can't get anything out of the press. They start to just hit the ball up the line. Hope for something, hope for a mistrap from Germany. Got to get more creative in terms of what they're trying to do there. There's now the Germans really playing chess. They've seen countless different shapes being played by them. Just shows the level of understanding of the game from this German unit. Being able to execute and play different shapes within a quarter. And there's that outside link once again. Finds a ball into the midfield and just couldn't get on top of it. Is that striker, the goal scorer of Hillman. Brilliant movement once again. Coming from left to right. Apologies, it was the number 50 of Roloff. But brilliant movement off his left foot, commits the defender. And a little double lead puts him into some space. Singapore now. Once again, looking to move the ball. They've got players really deep. And again, just can't find that connection up the line. It's a tough day out for Singapore. They really have had no answer to this German press. As Germany now moving the ball around the back. A lovely little dink through to that link. Up to the right hand side they go, overlapping half. Ball comes in, there's a man there. Diving in for the touch, but couldn't find one, so it will be a 16. So number 50 of Roloff is really putting himself in dangerous areas. Singapore now look to work out the back. Dispossessed by the captain of Germany, Renfer. Hillman to Renfer, looking for a short corner, doesn't find one. It will be a hit out.
Morning. Thank you.
Once again, this German side just really looking so clinical in that final third of the field. Singapore working the ball up. Sends it up the line, no one's on the end of it. Germany just moving the ball around, happy to rest their legs. Obviously 4-0 up. Done the job for today. Once again, just playing the ball into the midfield of the Germans, pulling in that Singapore press. And that's where they want to exploit that space up the right-hand side through Michael Nachel now. They into the circle. Ball into the top of the D. Great turn, shot. And a short corner is awarded. Once again, great work from the number 5 of Hillman. Feeding that defender on his back, turns his shoulders, pushes the ball into the back space and gets a shot off, but it will be a short corner. 6th one of the game for the Germans. Seen a couple of variations, a couple of straight flicks. They don't want to give away too much early on in this tournament. So will they keep it simple or will they try something different? It is the number 2 of Johannes Wolf, who will line up at the top of the castle once again. We've seen them as soon as they shift to the right. It generally means Wolf will be flicking. Missed push there. Rare mistake from the Germans, but they send it out. Ball into the top of the D. Shot comes in. And it is the 5th for the Germans. The number 50 of Philip Roloff finds his 2nd of the day. It's always dangerous when short corners don't go to plan for the defensive side, because then it becomes a 7 versus 4, and there was no exception. Philip Roloff with a lovely backstick from the top of the D finds his 2nd of the day. Germans up by 5. Singapore now in a world of trouble, just looking to move the ball up the field, win themselves a free hit. Can they find something out of this game? Into the circle, and just blown up for a bit of a stick block there, stick obstruction. Germany now send troops high up the field. It's just effortless from the Germans, carving through that Singapore press. It is a different level at the moment. Shot comes in, and that one just lifted. He's looking for the pass there, I think. He had 2 players on the far post and on the opposite side of the D, and that one just being lifted. 1 minute left on the clock. Singapore play a massive ball up the line, but picked up once again by the Germans. On the counter, finds the number 27 of Itzabach. All the way out to Rilach. Down to the corner they go. On the right-hand baseline, great turn from the number 21 of Barsh. And he's cleverly put that on a foot, winning their side. The 7th one of the game. It's been a really clinical performance from the Germans, knowing exactly what their roles are, what the plan is, and there's no different. Realizing there hasn't got many players inside the circle, just turning onto the baseline, putting it on a foot, and winning himself another short corner. Looks like number 50 at the top of the D. Flick comes in, goes right and just misses a target. It was really rapid, was that flick. But now Singapore look to play quickly, can't make the connection. The Germans come away with it with just 30 seconds on the clock. Will the Germans want to get a last goal out of this? It looks like they will. They progress down the right hand side, but well picked up by Singapore, who now have a numbers even situation, but a couple of big calls there and taken quickly by Singapore. Umpire says they've got to be taken back, and with just seconds left on the clock, that will be that. Germany outclassed Singapore here, leading the game 5-0 in this men's over 40 category. It's been great to watch. We're coming up with some post-match interviews, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a bit. Hi there and welcome to the post-match interview. I'm joined by the German captain, Philipp here. How did that go, Philipp? It was a great performance from you guys, really clinical, 5 goals. You struggled to score in the first quarter, but certainly floodgates opened in the last few. How did it go for you?
I think you mentioned it right. We took some time for us to really find our way into the match, and a little bit longer than expected. Eventually, we're very happy with the structure that we found and kind of the composure that we got to our game. I think we could have scored more in the first half, but eventually we're very happy because it's the first game where it's really about the points, and we're happy with that. So.
Yeah, it's been a really clinical performance. We saw many different shapes you guys are playing. It shows you guys are really comfortable. Do you guys train a lot together? How long has this squad been together for?
Okay, so I'd say we've been practicing for about a year, but compared to other countries, especially if you compare it in Europe, if you think about England with London and France with Paris, it's more centralized, and Germany is very decentralized, and it's a hard job to get the team together. So we've been practicing about 3 or 4 times potentially. We had a great preparation weekend with the French team in Paris, so that was great, but overall it's quite difficult to get together, but so far it's working fine.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Bye.
Cheers. Happy days. Welcome. We've got the losing captain, Singapore, Ranjan. Tough day out for you guys. The Germans were a really quality outfit. What happened out there?
I think we are a small country, but we are a proud country, and we love our hockey. The guys gave a good showing today. Kudos to the Germans. They did really well.
Just difficult to score. We've seen you guys were so dangerous on the counter-attack. You had opportunities, but just struggled to get past. What's sort of the game plan going forward?
I think we're going to trust the process and keep doing what we're doing. We've been training for 9 months now, and this was our first game. We hope it's our toughest game, and we're going to hunt for some surprises in this tournament.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.